The February 2021 edition of the Steam Game Festival is well underway, with it featuring developer live streams, talks, and most importantly, around 500 different game demos we're all able to play. Now that's a massive number in anyone's book, so in this video, we're taking a look over some of these, nearly all of which are new to us and the channel, that might turn out to be the hidden gems of the festival, which runs until 10 AM Pacific time, February the 9th. Let's get things going, and at number 15 in no particular order, with the visually spectacular black and white spaceship shooter with its 2D gameplay all within a 3D environment. The demo gives a short but hugely enjoyable peek into what we're likely to expect from the game, with it, like all of those featured in this video, is expected out before the end of the year. From what we've seen of this, we adore the black and white aesthetics and live action FMV sequences, and while we have yet to try it out, the option to play this one in couch co-op in split screen is a further string to the bow. Up next, and something else that caught our eye given its fairly unique aesthetics, the amazing American Circus is a blend of RPG, Tycoon and deck building game within an immersive story around the time of the fading Wild West, with around 170 different hand-animated cards and over 15 different artists to train and recruit. Players will need to attract and entertain from a variety of different audiences, with more than 90 different towns and cities to visit across the American continent. Onwards and next up, Fate of Kai, which is a pretty and seemingly innovative puzzler, where players move through the story by way of walking through the game's panels, which act as a maze, with you interacting with and modifying the character's ideas to move the plot forward. It feels quite elegant, and with no hand-holding, you'll need to think ahead and piece things together in a logical fashion. So up next, and at number 12, unlike the rest of the games in this rundown in no particular order, we have TASOMACHI, Behind the Twilight, I hope I got that pronunciation even halfway right, which is a cute-looking exploration game featuring a young girl. We're able to freely explore what the Steam homepage calls an oriental fantasy town. Players are tasked with helping the girl fix her broken airship, while going about the place and clearing the odd dungeon here and there. While it's been a good few years since we last went to a festival, and given the state of things, sadly we can't really expect to see too many of them over the course of the rest of the year, Festival Tycoon, however, at least gives players a little bit of a hint as to what it might be like to live a little bit of your life like Emily Evis. Well, kind of. Either way, the demo is really rather fun, and we're big fans of how the team behind it have created the visuals, particularly in the festival goers who have a fine and jaunty bob in the way they go about the place. We didn't expect to enjoy this as much as we did, with it being one of the better simulation demos we played during our time with the festival. At number 10, and something of a rarity around these parts, we have Stuffed, which is a first-person shooter that takes place in the dreams of a little girl. You play as we think one of her cuddly bears, as you take on wave after wave of nasties and meanies from her dreams, all in fully procedural maps where no two rounds are the same. Stuffed again gets our nod with its two-player split-screen co-op, although the single-player mode looks suitably strong, so yes, Stuffed is a tad silly, but it has the potential to be a right good old proper laugh. From the fast and frantic to something so beautifully sedate. At number 9, Dorfromantik is another game we played way longer than we anticipated, with just over 90 minutes of playtime in the past day or so. It's wonderfully calming and peaceful, with you creating a village that grows as you place tiles within a hexagonal board. Essentially a strategic puzzler, where you score points with your title placement. It's perhaps a little bit more addictive than you might first assume. We're thinking this has the potential to be one of the best hidden gems of the year. And while we're feeling a little bit relaxed, let's crack on with something else that came up in our feed, and something we're really impressed and surprised by. A little golf journey seemingly does so much with, quite frankly, what could be described as very little. The low-poly artwork, colour scheme and golfing mechanics are all terrifically implemented. It's all just so intuitive and, well, so very peaceful, and as far removed from any kind of golf game we think we've ever played. With over 150 holes to play across 11 different courses, we're thinking it also comes with a story woven within. So yes, another unexpected little potential gem of a game. Right then, before we all perhaps get a little bit too comfy and sedate, let's crack on and up the cortisol with Aeon Drive. Now we're thinking this action platformer is going to find a home within the speedrunning community. Something we've shown time and time again we're just no good at, although it's always wondrous to watch folks who do possess such skills tear their way through these kind of games. In any case, the demo shows off what feels a really crisp and meaty control setup, with the character having just the right amount of ebb and flow. The graphics are also rather pleasing on the eye, as is the soundtrack on the ears, which perfectly accompanies the visuals. At the number 6 position, and something we were first introduced to back in the late summer of the year just gone, by the virtual indie arena booth at Gamescom 2020. Noir Live sees you play as private investigator, Cuddles Nutter Butter, within a feline city known as Meow Meow Furrington. After a murder looks set to ignite a war between the town's Montamew and the Capulet crime families, yes, you heard that right, it's up to you to try and fix things. As far as we've had time with it, this one's a pretty funny in places point-and-click adventure with puzzling sections that promise to be both fun and fiendish, but never unfair. Up next, and expected out this year on PC and by the looks of things across all of the usual consoles, Hazel Sky is shaping up to be a heartfelt adventure about a young engineer having crash-landed on a tropical-looking island. You must figure out how to best fix and rebuild your craft, while also undertaking a number of different trials, as you also look to find peace and tranquility across this quite frankly handsome-looking world. At number 4, A Space for the Unbound is a slice-of-life adventure game with some terrific-looking pixel art. And had we remembered it, well, this one would have almost certainly made it into our current best-looking pixel art video games expected out this year. If you haven't seen it, you can follow the link on screen now or click down there in the video description. In any case, A Space for the Unbound is set in late 90s rural Indonesia and tells a story about overcoming anxiety, depression, and the relationship between a boy and a girl with supernatural powers. There's more than a hint here at play of the film Inception, which could make for something quite interesting. Like all of the games in this list, A Space for the Unbound is expected out at some point this year. At number 3, and billed in the press as a retro future action puzzle adventure, Retro Machina features hand-drawn visuals, with it taking inspiration from classic sci-fi books and Saturday matinee TV and films. The central character in this single player is also a real joy to play with and looks pretty darn cool as well. The ability to hack and control other robots you find about the levels and have them help you solve puzzles or fight with other robots is a great addition to what looks like a rather smart arcade action scrapper. At number 2, and the penultimate game in this rundown, we have Sonority, another big surprise of the current Steam Festival. Essentially, this one's a music-based puzzler where you play as Esther, and with your panpipes you solve puzzles and discover the secrets of the lost songs and art on the world of Sonority. Now we do need to go back and take another look at this one, as some of the puzzles can be fairly tricky. That said, with its overall art and what it's looking to deliver, Sonority is something puzzle fans might very much want to take a further look at. And the last game in the Steam Festival from February 2021 Hidden Gems Rundown is a city builder, and one that's a tad more unusual than those you might traditionally find on the Steam platform. In Timberborn, all of the world's humans have gone, and this city builder sees you take control of an army of what we think are genetically modified beavers. The demo gives a great first impression, with you able to try out the game before it comes out in early access at some point before the end of March. So there we go, many thanks for watching and the support which has taken us over the 100,000 subscriber milestone. We're so blown away as the phrase goes, and we'll hopefully get hold of the coveted silver play button within, let's say, a month or so. If you've played any of these games here or any other in the festival, drop us a comment, and if you liked the video, please click that like button as well. It all helps spread the indie game good news, and on that, we'll see you all again here soon for another indie game video.